myself in this, couldn't wait to turn 21. The day I did, I got too drunk, spinning around dizzy on the patio. Found out real quick, gotta take it slow. Got whiskey man on whiskey sour, ran my mouth to an out-of-towner. Learned a big lesson when I met the master. I found myself in this bar, making mistakes and making new friends. I was growing up, nothing made sense. Wasn't all night like neon in the dark. I found myself in this bar. I found myself in this bar.
Shot for ya. If I fit it, pop my drop for ya. And I'm counting the guap back out for ya. My pops, valley fuck, jumped down for 5. I just counted down, stop for 5. Valley fuck, jumped down for 5. I just counted down, stop for 5.
I found myself in this bar, making mistakes and making new friends. I was growing up, nothing made sense. Learning how to live with a broken heart. I found myself in this bar. Strange things keep tugging your heart. I found myself in the bar.
Afghanistan, catch a wave on us. Take a shot, make a friend, just enjoy the moment. Blue sky walking on these haters. Celebrate every day like a birthday. Good things come to those that hate us. Don't wait to jump in too long. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up.
And if I'm ever gonna move on, I'm gonna need some whiskey glasses, 'cause I don't wanna see the truth. She's probably making out on the couch right now with someone new. Yeah, I'm gonna need some whiskey glasses if I'm gonna make it through. Mama, please sing along, we need a double shot of that heartbreak groove. I'ma make the crowd go.
My name Mac Miller, who the fuck are you? My crew too live, but I ain't Uncle Luke. And I ain't no hipster, girl, I can make your hipster. Fuck this verse, no papers or a swisher. Welcome to the Campbell Chronicles. Looking at my Chronicles, I'm dodging obstacles. I can't be like the Bellagio. You got the approach, I'm heavyweight, 'cause everything I thought to go. Tight to leave it clean and fucking shiny, word of mouth and glow.
And they're like, dude, that's the wrong ring for that motor. We good? We live?
Oh yeah.
All right. What's going
We're
on,
live.
guys? We're live. This is a good one. So we got a good guest on today. Welcome to another episode here. We have Joe Zolper. That's how you say it, right? I always get the L and P
Zolper.
mix.
Yeah, everyone calls it Zoppler.
Zoppler.
Yeah, no, it's Zolper. Yeah.
Zolper. Yeah. So we got
Yeah.
Joe Zolper on here. Some of you may know him. He is the creator of Builders Brawl. That's kind of his new race here, which we're going to be sitting here kind of talking to him about, seeing where the direction of that is going. Kind of what it's about, how fun it is, because that's a race that we run. And yeah, you may know him from Garage Squad. That's kind of where he's got his TV personality. So this should be a fun one because he's got his claws in pretty deep in the motorsports world, and he's gonna lay it out today for us. And we're gonna give the spiel on everything. Ain't that right?
Yeah, you know that lay it out stuff gets me in trouble sometimes. So I'll try not to get carried away. Now my arms start flopping and I start yelling and
Uh,
everything. Just bear with me. Just go with it, okay?
there we go. That's what we're looking for. But
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like some of these other TV personalities that are gonna kick shit up for you and make it sound all fancy. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth because I eat, breathe, and live this industry since I was a little boy. So it's important to me. So I really don't care about some woke bullshit on Motor Trend or Discovery. I really don't care what they think, their opinions. I'm gonna say the truth about what's going on in this industry, the good, the bad, the ugly, and if the question's asked, I'll answer it truthfully. If the question's not asked, I won't say nothing. You know how it goes, right?
oh yeah, I know you gotta. What I plead the fifth, right? You just don't even try it and beat the bush with it. But
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
So just kind of get it out of the way. That's kind of
Mhm.
what probably a lot of people are going to want to hear and want to talk about. And I know that's kind of what we're trying to push here is the Builders Brawl race, right?
Mhm.
This is the fourth one, right?
This is the fourth one, but we're
Fourth one,
calling it the Builders Brawl Bash
right?
instead of Builders Brawl 4. Sorry, excuse me. And the reason being is, because we decided that we're going to open it to the public. We're going to open it to
Yep.
everybody. Everybody can come and race our builders. We have a lot of established builders. A lot of non-builders want to see what they got to compete up against some of the builders. And we've been asked to do this for a while and come up with some way to do it. So I decided, you know what? We've already had 3 races. We have a large amount of builders established for Builders Brawl on our roster through our emails and our submissions. So we decided that let's open it up to the public because we want to be able to show the average Joe what the Builders Brawl is all about, as you very well know, because everybody there has their name and reputation on that starting line. When that light goes green, okay, it's not Tim McAmis. It's
Yeah,
not Andy McCoy. It's not,
Nickel.
it's not some big NHRA team. I mean, it's you. I mean, you had a hand in building that car on a higher level than most people, do in their garage. And so it's your name and reputation. So we decided let's open it up for everybody. Come on in and see a part of it because apparently, get this, I couldn't believe this. Apparently, sending in a submission about the work that you have done is very intimidating. Now, I know we live in a society where people get to be kind of, sissies and everybody's afraid of rejection. God forbid someone doesn't like me. Okay. So apparently it's kind of hard. People are they're like, I know people that are builders that are afraid to send in the submission because they're afraid of rejection. Couple things. One, nobody's going to know you were rejected other than the 5 guys. I don't even know. Okay, we have 5 guys that view all this and they vote 3 out of 5 and you're in. And so I don't even know. Okay. No, one time out of the last 3 races has one of them 5 guys been at the track. Okay. Those guys do not come to the race. I keep them far away. They want to stay far away. And we have our reasons because we have people that have not made it through and they go irate. And, well, sorry. I mean, it is what it is. And those 5 guys, they don't want to be bothered. You didn't make it. You didn't make it. What are you going to do? Show up at their house? Right. I mean, these guys
Yeah.
are kicking your ass. You ain't going to their house. Right. So
So it just makes things easier, makes things better. Um, but we decided that we do this also. One of the bonuses, it maybe it'll take a little pressure off the guys that are builders, that do have some good talent. Because let's face it, there are some shy people out there. I mean, it's normal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So at least if they come there, they meet some people, they see what our atmosphere is all about. Because I try to keep our atmosphere more builder mentality, help each other get down the track kind of
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I'm literally watching people rob parts off cars at the last race to put on other cars so they can go and compete
Oh yeah.
against them. I mean,
Yep.
and that's what the builders brawl we want to be all about. We have we have a lot of talent that's at the builders brawl, such as yourself. You are a builder, okay? And we have a lot of talent that's there, with so many things, from engines to chassis to fab work and so on and so forth. The list goes on.
Oh yeah.
That I think if we bring in other people that are not builders, or people that could be a builder, and let them see what it's all about, let them understand, let it seem so less intimidating to them if they come and they be a part of it. Maybe they'll get the importance of it, and maybe even they'll appreciate a little bit more the builders that are out there doing this. Because the reality is nobody wants to talk about this and accept it when I say it. Everybody just kind of looks at the ground and starts kicking rock. But the reality is I don't care how badass you are behind the steering wheel. If there's no builders, you're nobody.
Yep.
Okay. And builders start out in lean-tos, at 60 or 16 years old, working on their Monte Carlo hunk of shit, flipping air cleaners upside down. You know what I'm saying? They
Yep.
start out there, and then they work into, the Tim McAmis. Or I mean, people don't realize there was a time Tim McAmis didn't know how to change a tire. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, at some level, you got to start. So if we get people there to see it, at least they'll appreciate what we're doing. They'll appreciate what I'm trying to do. And maybe they can work harder to be a part of it. Because, buddy, we've had people that have worked very hard, yanked motors out of their cars, tore them down, videoed it, rebuilt the engine, file fit rings, a whole 9 yards, just to send a submission, just to qualify to come to this race. So to me, my job's done. That's how I look at it. As if I have people that are forcing themselves to learn how to build stuff just to come to the race,
That's
all
huge.
of us have won.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all won. We're all accomplishing what we're trying to do.
Yep.
But I don't know. You've been to the races, I mean, you see what we're trying to do.
Oh yeah.
And it's like everything else. It's a slow process. It takes time for people to understand.
Yeah.
Well,
what I was gonna say is you were talking about how guys will rip their engines apart for other guys that they're gonna go try to compete against, right? And what I
Yeah.
noticed about your race compared to I mean, kind of the backstory of our family and kind of me and what we've raced and stuff, and we've raced at very very high levels. We've raced the U.S. Nationals, and we raced the lights outs, and we've raced all the big races where you have the Stevie Fasts that show up and you have to go against them, and you have that same caliber and same competitive mentality at Builders Brawl, but it more has that tight knit feel of like a bracket race. And that's not with a negative connotation of like a bracket race. No, they're just, the weekend warriors, but like these are hardcore
Right.
guys that come and are there to win and take your money. But if it came down to it, they want to beat you because, the stand up man, the thing to do is to beat you on the track. They're not going to beat you because your starter was busted, or whatever it may be.
Right.
They want to
Yeah.
beat you, and it's all about racing. That's all Builders Brawl is because they're a bunch of builders that they built their car, and they want to show that not that they're just the baddest driver, but they're the baddest builder. That was something
Oh
that
yeah.
I really liked about your race. My dad liked, my brother liked, and that's why we wanted to come race your races, because it's just different. Like that's what racing should be, is you build your car, and that's what racing was, but we've lost it, where you build your
Yeah.
car, you go to the race, you race it, and you try to find who's the baddest one there, not who's got the deepest pockets, right?
Yeah.
Builders Brawl is bringing that back into the drag racing world, you know, and that's
Yeah.
huge. That's what we need.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I agree. And a lot of people talk about, the deep pockets, and then they see cars like yours and mine. And he's like,
Yeah.
well, geez, that ain't, that's not affordable. First of all, I'm going to tell right up front, I don't understand where these people somehow fabricated in their brain
Yep.
that you got to be a broke ass bitch selling pencils on the street corner in order to come and race at the Builders Brawl. Where was
Yeah.
that? I mean,
Yeah.
nobody ever said that. The reality is listen, if there's a guy who's a multi-millionaire, okay, that sends in a submission and he puts in the work and qualifies as a builder, I don't know about you, but I'm probably going to have just as much respect for him, maybe even a little more than the average Joe, because a lot of us broke asses are doing it because we can't afford somebody. This guy could pay somebody to do this shit, right? Yep. But he's still going out there and doing it on his own. So I don't know about you. I don't know how we can turn away somebody with money. And then I always got to hear about, I thought Builders Brawl was going to be more affordable. Look at all these pro mods coming up. Well, listen, buddy, I'm sorry that times have changed. We're not racing your 4-bolt main, double hump, 4-speed, Muncie bullshit. Okay, we're just not.
Square tube chassis,
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, I mean, hey, if you want to come and you want to run that type of car in the daily driver class, or go ahead, have at it. We're all about it, but don't bash what we're trying to do because you don't have the money. It's no different than Garage Squad. One of my biggest hang-ups and pet peeves on Garage Squad that used to just literally piss me off. And I would be on conference calls with Motor Trend, and I'd just be like, just screaming at them. Because some reason, somehow, I don't know how, but nowhere in the submissions of Garage Squad ever, of the 80,000 submissions that we have, nowhere does it say anywhere that you got to be broke, dying of cancer, a quadriplegic, you got to have a rash on your ass, and you got to, and you got to be broke as fuck in order for us to come and work on your car and build your car.
Yeah.
But for some reason, out of nowhere, if you watch social media, because we all watch it, so everybody in Garage Squad has seen this, and it just turned into the bigger pouting story that I have, maybe the better chance I can get on the show. And if you watch the show, you will see that not every car was in that situation. Everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
Okay, I got news for you. I got a story. You got a story. Everybody's got a story.
Everybody's got a story.
Of surviving life. Okay.
Yep.
But there was the one thing that hang up that got me on Garage Squad is that, what about the guy we just wanted to fix his car?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? He needs a little help. He doesn't have the knowledge, and that's okay. What's wrong with that? Why does everybody got to be dying?
Yep.
And I don't mean that with any malice. I just mean it as the truth. So when I saw that with Garage Squad and how it made the show turn into a direction that I felt was going to not be a happy show. It's just going to be depressing, right? So I used to always force the network to, hey, let's get some people in here that just need their car fixed. They're just good people working with their son or something, Let's do that. So that's why I took what happened there and I push it onto Builders Brawl. And I don't want that mentality.
Yeah.
I don't want that mentality that, you got to be broke. Listen, if Stevie Fast can show to the 5 guys that he bust his ass and he's a smart man and he can do all that and he wants to show up, guess what? He's probably putting some asses on the trailer. We're not kicking them out.
Nope. Oh, yeah. Well, it's like it all boils down to, if you're a builder, you know that it's all just, okay, you all get the same material. It's what you can do with the same material. They're all bars. They're just bars that have been cut up, welded together. It's all just, go down to Harbor Freight, get you a spray, a spray gun, you spray your car. It's just, because I could do it better than you and my car maybe comes out a little bit better. Now it's like, oh, he paid to do that, or, oh, he's, he's not broke, it's like, oh, it's just like, just because maybe I thought a little bit more outside the box, or I did something a little bit better, or this or that, it doesn't mean it's more money or less money. It just means that I did it better, and that's another part of the Builders Brawl that's great is you see the craftsmanship of all these different guys and how it competes and how it lays up on the track.
Yeah.
You see some of those pro mods that are out there not doing too well,
Yeah.
like we've been out there and it's like, oh, we show up and we have our nice rig and our car and stuff. And it's like, oh, they should just take it home. And we've struggled, we've went
Oh
out
yeah.
there and have not made passes or shaken the tire and just have not been able to figure it out, so there's,
Yeah.
there's no idea of, oh, his car's nicer, so he's going to go out there and win because he didn't build it or he's got more money or this or that. Like, it's
Yeah.
one thing to be the builder and it's another thing that it's no prep. That's a whole nother thing that levels the field, that it is what it is, it not
You
just
want,
puts it, yeah.
yeah, you want to talk about level in the field? Let's talk about a topic right now that has got people furious.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
And that is, you must shift your own car.
Yep. I like
Oh,
this.
oh my
Let's go.
God. So let me see if I understand. The hypocrisy of the people that bitch and complain about this blows my mind. Okay. I have literally had people here just yelling at me
Yep.
about it. Okay. And it doesn't faze me. Okay. I'm not some of these other promoters. You're wasting your time, but I'm not a dictator. I will talk it over with my staff and my group.
Right.
Even know how I feel. I say, what do you think? And we'll discuss it if it gets to be a big topic. Okay. Because I'm not a dictator. All right. With this whole deal. But it has been voted on multiple times unanimously. We will never get rid of you must shift your own car. Now, before we get into the complaints about this, let's explain it. Manually shifting your car. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, a lever, you're banging a lever. That doesn't necessarily mean, you can have a button on a steering wheel that you can air shift your car with. You can have, your Linko button tree, right? You bang buttons. Is what it is you physically and mentally are making that RPM change, not a computer.
Yes.
Don't care how you do it. I don't care if you hook something, you blink your freaking eye and it shifts. I don't give a shit, okay? I don't care if you're freaking RoboCop in that car, okay? And that's how it works. You plug into yourself. I don't give a rat's ass. All I know is no computer is allowed to do that shit, right?
Yep.
You, right?
Yep.
So here comes the Pro Charger guys. Boo-hoo. Right?
They want enough.
And my attitude is like this. It's like, yeah, well, that's not my problem. You built a Pro Charger car. Yep. I mean, if I wanted to go race NHRA Pro Stock, I'm not showing up with my twin turbo, whatever the fuck, to compete in Pro Stock, right?
Yep. Turbo
so
400.
I fall into parameters, right? So you don't. Guess what? Don't buy a Pro Charger. You know what that means? There's another race somewhere else that weekend. We're not changing rules for you. Yep. We're just not. We're not that race, okay? So, and then these people all want to talk like you just said. No prep levels the playing field. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any idea how many times in the last 3 races that we've had people lose rounds because they forget to shift their car, or they shifted way too early on the rev limiter, way too late,
blow stuff up?
So let me get this straight. So Joe Zolper comes up with this rule: you must shift your own car, which also levels the playing field, but we're all against that. So, and I'm like, that's just but you'll get on a no prep surface, and I have people come to me about safety. It's safety. Yeah. I got to take my hands off the steering wheel. You dumb dick. You are driving a no prep car with small tires. All right. And you can't go like that. Bam.
Yep.
Then you suck. You shouldn't be driving your car. That's true. Okay. Yep. Listen, for everybody out there that's listening, I'm going to piss y'all off. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care how badass you think you are. I don't care what your excuses are, okay? If you can't shift your car, and most of your asses got power glides anyway, okay, 2 speeds. If you can't shift your car, your ass is going too fast for your capabilities.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
I don't care what your excuse is. Call me an asshole, send me messages. Joe, you're an asshole, whatever, you're a dick, whatever, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you can't drive your shit. I mean, that is the truth. Okay. And I put this in place, and you wouldn't believe the people. I got people right now that will not come back to the Builders Brawl Some of them, some big name guys in no prep world, they will not come back because you got to shift your car. Well, then you're not as bad as you think you are.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
just the truth.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to hurt some egos here too. All right. Here's one other thing. I'm just in the mood to piss people off tonight. I guess the reality that all of us need to understand what our egos in drag racing, because we all got it. Okay, I'm going to give everybody a reality check on your ego about drag racing, including my own. And when I realized this, I actually started having more fun. Drag racing is the easiest motorsport there is.
Yeah.
I don't care. Why do you think more women get behind the steering wheel of a drag car than running sprints?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying there ain't women that don't run sprints, okay?
Right.
All right, or dirt track. I'm not saying. But more than likely, you will see a woman get in a drag car. Why do you think you always see them putting hot chicks in dragsters? Because of all the cars to race, the dragster's the most easiest.
That is
And
true.
anybody with a dragster knows that.
That is
right?
truth. Yep.
So once you realize that, maybe you can set your ego down, okay, and realize that we're trying to make things a little more difficult to help level the playing field, to bring back the driver talent at our race. Because right now, all this shit is anymore. You go to these races with the traction control, the shift in your car, all the shock sensors, all the tuning, all the everything. Literally, you let off a button, and all it is a virtual reality of video game that you're riding with.
Yep.
That's all it is.
No or no go. Yep.
Yeah, you're on the brake, you let off the button, and you steer. Yeah, and we are this close, guys. This close with our technology right now that they can throw a magnetic strip down the center lane of the drag strip, and we can have steering assist. I just went to Texas. We rented a car, and I'm driving. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this thing? I got steering assist. I didn't even know it. So what makes you think we can't have it in a race car? And then eventually, then why even get in it?
They're just slot cars at that point.
That's all they are.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. So these people they want to get mad that you got to shift your own car, you won't come, and they won't come, and this, that. Well, my car's set up, and I don't run it that way. I don't really care, okay? Either you come there or you don't, but here's our rules. But at the end of the day, they are for bigger, legit reasons than your ego.
Yep.
This rule is here for a reason, because the reality is we have talked about setting up in the future, like way in the future, okay? Small tire, big tire class, no electronics.
Yeah.
Okay. Now people are like, oh, that's gonna suck. Oh, really? You want to see who's really a badass, who really can drive?
Oh, yeah.
Have a no prep small tire race, no electronics, no traction control, no nothing.
Let's point one thing out here. When you say no prep, your no prep is legit no prep, not like these other guys.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now, so we're clear. The Builders Brawl Bash is prepped.
Right.
Yeah, that we are doing this one prepped. We wanted to give it a shot. The track really wanted us to do it. There's some insurance stuff going on. So everybody knows, because nobody wants to talk about this either, is that there's some insurance stuff going on in the world of racetracks with no prep.
Yeah.
Okay. No Prep Kings has made it so famous that your average bean counter that works at Country Mutual, is going, what is this no prep stuff? And then has started realizing that, there's more accidents, more problems, more this, more that, right? There just is.
Well, insurance
companies are going, well, wait a minute. So we can make money here. You're having a no prep event. We're going to up your insurance for that event, right? So it's a thing. It's not hot and heavy, but it is a discussion, and it is happening with some tracks that are getting some heat over it. So keep that in mind in the no prep world.
Yeah.
It's around the corner.
Yeah. I don't know how many radio events that you've been to, or if you've been around the kind of radial stuff. But when you walk on a radial track, like it's pulling your shoes off. And whenever you go to like
Yeah.
a duck race, it's even worse. Like it will pull your leg hair off if you fall down on it. You know, it's that bad.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, you know, some of the
Yeah.
other ones are just as sticky, but that's the world that I started driving actually fast cars in and going like very
Mhm.
fast. So to go and kind of cut my teeth over there and learn how to drive a radial car, and then I went and I did some no prep stuff and some bias tire, just slick stuff like what you do. Total different ball game. You know, it's either
Yeah.
no or no go. It's definitely it shoves you in the back of the seat with the radial stuff and you're going, but it's either no go or no go. When it
Yeah.
comes to the no prep stuff, it's probably going to go. It's probably going to try to shake. It's probably going to walk. It's probably going to try to walk through there. It's just there's so much more going on, and then on
Yeah.
top of shifting your car and all, it's probably one of the more exciting driver experiences that I've had, and I've drove pretty much every degree of tire prep there is out there so far, you know.
Yeah.
And when it comes to even the prepped slick tire stuff, which is more like your NHRA kind of style, you know,
Yeah.
that stuff to me still is like no prep. So I'm out there skating around and I'm just trying to hold it to the floor and get to the end, you know.
Yeah. Right.
it's
Right.
it's just as fun to drive and it's just as sketchy, I guess you could say, if your car's not set up as good and you don't have your stuff figured out. So it's, you know, to say, you know, that it helps put you in the groove for sure, but no prep stuff like what you've had previously, like that stuff that brings the man out you, and
Yeah.
you can figure your car out or you cannot figure your car out. You're either on one side of the fence or not, you know.
That's
And
right.
it's not, oh well, I can get it to kind of go. It's either it goes or it doesn't go with that stuff, because it was, you know, gravel and marbles out there and flicked
Yeah.
up
I know.
rust, and it's what it was, you know. That's man
Yeah.
racing right there. No different than the asphalt that was out on the street you came in on, you know. But
Yeah. Yeah.
that was the deciding factor.
I love no prep racing because the truth of the matter is prep racing, you know, I mean, once you get your car dialed in, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep.
and you know, you make a million laps, it
Yep.
gets boring. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not a bracket racer. Nothing against guys that bracket race, but it's not my thing.
Right.
It's too boring for me.
Yep.
You know, I'm the guy that you know is you know drive. I want to drive my car. You know what I mean? I want to drive it to get it to the end of the track. You know, that's more exciting, more exhilarating. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, I run with the Chicago Wise guys.
Yeah.
I love them guys. I love being a part of it. That's a big deal to me. And I love every one of them people there. And they run quarter mile. Okay, they're doing pro mods and it's all quarter mile.
Oh yeah.
And I don't get me wrong. I love eighth mile because it's easier on your shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is. I mean, longevity, your rods, everything. You know, just everything lasts longer. But I got to tell you, I mean, you know, I like to go fast. I like to drive my stuff, and you know, there's nothing like running it out the back door. You know, and versus eighth mile. You know, I ain't gonna lie, but we keep everything eighth mile because everybody says, "Why are you making it eighth mile instead of quarter mile at my race?" I says, "Well, cost."
Yep.
I said, "The reality is, a lot of people are going to eighth mile just because racing, and a lot of tracks are starting to have more eighth mile races." It's just a cost thing. I mean, the cost of fuel, the cost of wear and tear, the car, you know, I mean, everything. It's just more money to go quarter miles. So people are like, it's just not worth it. I mean,
Yep.
it's not that they don't want to. I don't know anybody that runs eighth mile that doesn't want to run quarter mile out the back door in their car. But
Yep.
yeah, right. But it's just a cost thing anymore because these cars are way more expensive to run to be able to hang with everybody than it was 25 years ago.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just within the 5 years, you know,
Oh,
within a 2-3 year gap, it's gotten to the point where it's to, you know, to try and get anything, let alone to afford it and pay for it, you got to take a loan out anymore, because, you know, to compete at that professional level, it's you're in that, you know, probably 600 to $1 million range to go race with the big boys, and you know, to run
yeah,
that, you know, if you want to go run World Series of Pro Mod, you're going to spend probably, you know, $250,000. You know,
oh, easily, yeah,
that's where the racing's kind of going, and that's kind of the problem. You know, we could
yeah,
get into the economy the side of the racing itself, but just the actual spectator side, the racer side of the economy and all that. It's getting to a point to where drag racing that's cool isn't getting to where it's attainable for the average
Yes,
person. So
it happens
that,
all the time. Yeah.
yep, that is getting a bad like look for us because only so many people can do it. So
Yep.
then they're not getting to the point where more people are coming in to do it because they can't afford it and they see they can't afford it. So it's this teetering act where it's like it's slowly just falling off and keeps falling off, and people don't even want to try because they just know, and that's bad for us, and Builders Brawl again is getting that connotation away to where it's like you can come out here and you can have the crappiest setup and beat the best setup.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And yeah, I mean, that's why we pretty much have set up classes for just about everybody. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I'm not allowing people to nitpick me. Well, I need a class because I got chrome door handles and they got black ones.
yeah,
I'm like, we're not, we're not, and I'm not going to mention names. We're not some of my other, races that I know of that try to accommodate everybody. We're not doing that shit.
yeah,
We just started a new class called the Dirty Sixes.
yeah,
And I only did that because I got a lot of people that are interested in running that. They have a lot of cars that run that because it is affordable. Running sixes in the eighth in drag racing world is affordable.
yep,
I mean, compared to running, small tire, right?
yep,
So we started the Dirty Sixes, and those people that don't know, the Dirty Six and the High Five is basically the same thing, two different classes. And we chip draw on Friday night at 5 o'clock, 560, 570, 580, or 590, and the same with six. And we chip draw on what the index is going to be. And the reason why that we did that, my buddy Jeremy gave me that idea in the very beginning. And the reason why I really liked that and wanted to do that for the index, I'm not a big index racer thing, but
yeah,
doing it that way, this is going to basically say, as a builder, how well do you know your car?
yep,
Because you're showing up going, I have no idea what I need to tune my car to make it do until the last minute. So how smart are you? How good of a builder are you? And how well you know your shit?
yep,
And that's why we have those classes and do it that way.
yep. Yeah, on the subject of eighth mile versus quarter mile, I know it's getting to a point to where I don't know if like out in California, they just built, what was it called, to 330 track that they're doing
Yeah.
330 racing. They're even cutting it down to where it's less than that. It's like, what's the point at that point, right?
Yeah, why even bother?
It's a stop go race. It's like,
Yeah, why I just go out and race stoplight to stoplight? I mean, across the intersection. I know why even bother? Yeah, I think I think personally you're gonna start seeing a lot of weird shit happening. So I don't know how old you are, but I'm 46. Okay, so I'm about ready to fart dust here. Okay, I'm right around the corner, right? So I started my chopper shop back literally 3 months before Jesse James ever came out on TV. Anybody knew who he was. Okay.
right.
So the chopper craze went like this. Like it was just kept going. Right. And TV land, Discovery Channel, mostly saturated TV with everything from biker build-offs to monster garages to the Tuttles, American Chopper, and the list goes on and on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
And they just beat the market to death. Well,
Yep.
everybody had to have a chopper, and everything was at peak. And I remember it was 2006, and I remember going, "This stuff's gonna crash," and not because of counting. I mean, just the chopper mentality. And I remember telling my buddy, I says, "All this gonna take is for somebody famous or somebody with a reputation to start making fun of people that own choppers, saying they're stupid or whatever. And you'll start seeing these doctors and lawyers that are coming to my shop spending 40, 50, 70 grand and to have me build them a bike. You're going to see them not wanting to go like this. You're going to start seeing them not wanting to do it, right?
Yep.
And then what happened is then the economy puked in 7 and 8 to begin with, right? And I already knew. So I was already made business moves and adjustments because I knew what was coming, right? I could see it. There's
Yeah.
a fad, writing's on the wall, right? And I'm seeing the same thing here now in 2024 with the drag race community. Okay. And right now, I mean, we have Street Outlaws, NPK, JJ the Boss, Gone Girl. Oh my, I'm gonna throw up even just saying that. Uh, we have, you know, I mean, I don't know, Street Outlaws, Pink Fluffy Bunnies. I don't even know anymore. Okay, there's
Street
just so
Outlaws
much shit.
52,
Yeah, right.
whatever it is.
Yeah, and all I know is these executives, okay, these executive producers, they see something they know nothing about. They're making money. They saturate the market, okay. It's just all in your face. It's everywhere you go until where people get tired of it.
Yep.
And that's what's getting ready to happen with drag racing as a whole. Drag racing is at its all-time peak that it's ever been before.
Yep.
Ever. Okay. And some of us have been involved in it long before ever TV or anything like that. We've been doing our whole lives.
Yep.
And what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing people fall to the wayside. Okay.
Yep.
And for many reasons, they're going to go, what am I chasing? It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. They're going to go, you know, it was fun while it lasted, but I wasn't born and bred into drag racing. So
yeah,
I came, I bought my Mustang, I put a turbo on it. Now I'm done. I'm going to buy a boat. You know what I mean? You're going to start seeing that shit. It's coming. And you're going to start seeing people taper off. I'm not going to lie. I'm doing 4 races this year because last year I just saturated myself in drag racing so much, me and my family. And we want to take a break a little bit this year. So we're doing 4 races this year ourselves. But it's not because, you know, I'm, you know, not diehard drag racing. I one of many reasons that people are going to have to take a step back. And the economy with what's going to happen here, I think in the next year, I think you're going to see a lot of people fall to the wayside.
Yes, a lot of that it will happen, you know, no matter what. But a lot of that, you know, due to this being an election year, it's going to pivot off of that a lot, you know, and it's gonna, you know, the people up here are either going to go no more, or the people down here are going to go, oh yeah, and it's, you know, the flip of the coin on where the racing world's going to go. It's been shown before where it's going to happen, so it's like, I think everybody's diehard racing until you start to get that wake up call of how much money you're really spending. And when times are really good, you really don't hear that call. But when it starts to get a little tight, everybody starts to hear that voice talking to them. And then that's when they're like, well, I'm a diehard racer, but like, you got to come to reality here and realize how much you're spending and if it's really worth it. Right.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are starting to get that little chirp in their ear now where they're like, I'll do it, but it's not worth what it was, and it wasn't costing what it was, you know, a year or 2 ago, let alone 5 years ago, you know. And that I'm seeing that too, you know. It's one of those things where the racer itself's one thing, but you go and you try to get sponsors now, you know. Sponsors for the last 10 to 15 years have been hard to get, you know. It's just that's a whole nother side.
Well, the problem is again, there's someone racing, you know, an LS SWAT Mustang on every street corner anymore, and they're all wanting sponsors. So the market is saturated with people, you know, milking from the same tit. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And so what are you going to do to make yourself stand out better than everybody else? I mean, is really what it boils down to. So. And then let alone and now you're gonna get me fired up because now I gotta go talking sponsors, trying to get sponsors. I won't mention a name. I won't mention. I'm
on the same page, man.
But I know someone right now that is runs a certain product all over his car. Okay, I'll say it. I'll say Holly. I don't give a shit. Okay. He's diehard Holly, has been for years. I mean, stickers, everything all over. Him and his wife and his daughter, they go out racing, and he's winning. You know, if not, he's in the top 3. and he's doing very good. They travel all over, and he was begging for a sponsor, okay, and he didn't get anything. He didn't get anything. Oh, I mean, you're gonna sell me shit at cost. With all due respect, Holly, thank you, but we all got a buddy around the corner that's a dealer for Holly that's gonna sell it to me at cost. Okay, so and then I don't owe you anything. I'll just go buy it from him, right? So I get that, but then all of a sudden I get on Instagram and we got some bitch that's got her ass in the camera that doesn't know how to do anything, and next, Holly's sponsoring them and giving them parts and shit. And I'm over here going, what the hell, right?
Yep.
So then I started noticing some things. I'm like, wait a minute. Why are all these girls that don't do anything, don't have anything, and don't know how to do anything, have nothing to offer the community other than their ass and their looks, getting sponsors?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, they got a following. And I'm like, yeah, but those people that are following that girl are not following her for anything other than her, if you know what I'm saying, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Nobody, I am not going, you know what? I think I'm going to buy me a Holly sniper system for my street rod because that chick with that big juicy ass is sponsored. So what nobody. Okay. So I want to go to the marketing department of some of these companies and I just smack them and go, what are you doing, dummy? Okay. Because the only thing that you're really doing is a couple things. One, you're telling my daughter, who's a gearhead, that you don't really know how to do anything. You just got to look like a hoe.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
And you're telling the young man that is up and coming in the car culture that's going to buy your product that he's nobody. He's shit.
He has no chance.
Don't even try. You got no chance. You know why? Because you're ugly. You got snaggletooth. Okay, whatever the case may be.
Because you're a male. Period.
Yeah, and you're a male, and you got you got your meat and 2 veg swinging between your legs. You don't stand a chance. And then I find out that some of these companies, the marketing departments are ran by women.
Yep.
And then I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then when I talk to these women, they know nothing. They know nothing about
care about that little number you have that says followers underneath it.
Yeah, and then so I was at PRI and I had this conversation with some big name people because I'm that guy. Okay, I'm that guy that's going to make you uncomfortable. Okay, and I said this to him, and I said, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret that you guys just probably don't understand. And they're like, what's that? In TV land, in executive producer world, okay, when a woman says they have, 500,000 followers, they got 1%.
Yep.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, the executive producers at Discovery know this. They know that they have a following because they're hot. They don't have a following because of anything else.
Of what they do, anything, yes.
They got nothing. Okay. So I says, and they know this. So when someone tries to get a job to be on TV and they're like, look at, I got 500,000 followers. No, you're hot. That's why you got 500,000 followers. Okay. Joe Zolper, okay, with his big ears, he need to shave half the fucking time. And okay, drop the F-bomb like a comma. He's got 200,000 followers, and trust me, they're all legit.
Yeah.
People are following a guy like me because of me, not because of this, right? So companies are starting to realize this, and they're going, wait a minute, we can get more out of a young racer that's got 50,000 followers out busting the streets up, making a name for himself than we can on this hot chick that's pushing an LS motor around in an engine stand down a sidewalk all the fucking. Okay,
carrying the torque wrench with no socket,
Yeah, right. Yeah, or a pair of giant channel locks to remove the freaking air cleaner screw, right? Yeah. So I mean, now don't get me wrong, there are women out there that do know how to do something, and they are smart. Okay? Don't get me wrong. But we all know there's a lot of them that are not. They're only in the car game because of their boyfriend. I
Yeah.
mean, let's be honest. Okay. I mean, and their boyfriend knows they're hot. And hey, sweetheart, you get me some free parts. I could care less because I got no morals. I'll
Yeah.
let you show your ass. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
what's happening. And I've talked to a lot of people, and what frustrates me is, far as I know, I'm the only one that has the balls to come out and say it.
Yeah.
But everybody I've talked to, every man agrees with me
Yep.
that we all like eye candy because we're men. We're men are pigs. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But
Human
there's
nature.
that. When's it too far? When's that line just been crossed to where now it's affecting our own industry that we've built and created here?
I
With
agree.
all due respect, no disrespect, ladies, but the car culture wasn't built by women.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. And I'm not picking on it. And if you think I'm some male chauvinistic pig or whatever, or anti-feminist, I had two women in my life, and my wife has a blown alcohol Daytona we're building. My daughter drag races. So, and I'm the only man in the house. So no, it's not that. It's even I got, my daughter's 16 years old and walks up to me and goes, Dad, look at this on Instagram. This chick that got a sponsor because she's hot.
Yeah.
And even she's like, she doesn't like it. She's like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Now there was my rant. So you had me all fired up.
Well,
Jesus.
it's one of those things where if you have a company that wants to sell product, because that's your only job as the marketing department for that company, right? Is to sell product, and you have to give a little bit away to get more, right? Why would you give more away? It's like the smoke and mirrors things where it's like they think they know what they're doing, but if you really think about it, they don't, right? So it's like, okay, she's got, like you were saying, she's got 500,000 followers, right? But only 1% of those are real. They're not genuine followers that follow her for what she does and who she is, and they like what they're not ingrained into her persona and what she does, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a guy like you that has a following that's maybe not as much, but each individual one of those followers is more ingrained in who you are and wants to follow what you do and
Yep.
is more invested in what you do, that person is more likely to buy whatever product you're pushing than the girl that just sits there and takes a picture. And the reason they get so much likes is not because the guy that's sitting there scrolling sees, oh, that's a nice set of heads or something that she's holding, or that's a nice, whatever the heck. It's like, oh, that's a nice look, and they like that, and then they scroll on to the next, and that's why they get all their likes. It's not because, oh, they
Oh
like the
yeah.
product she's holding. It's how she looks, and
Yeah.
the numbers are totally
Well,
skewed.
yeah. Well, we can sit here and bitch and complain about it, but let's come up with a solution. Number one,
Yeah.
okay, do what I did. Okay, you go on and you make sure you don't follow any of them.
Nope.
Don't.
That's
number
how I
one.
am.
That's number one. Okay.
Yep.
Number two. All right. Anybody that is messaging these girls, God, you're so beautiful. You are a fucking loser. You are such a
Yes.
burnout. Okay.
Yes.
You're some burnout in your mom's basement. Let's be
Yep.
honest. Right.
Yep.
Okay. So then they go, and then the women, and then they get back on. Oh, thank you so much. Like, really? Listen,
Yep.
if I found out that my old lady was dealing
Yeah.
with that, hell no. The
Uh-uh.
problem is like, where did all the men go?
Yeah.
Right? Be a
Like,
goddamn
had a
man,
backbone.
okay? Yeah, and so when I see all this that's happening, they're too shallow, and they're literally too dumb to realize that this car culture that we've worked so hard to create, and because it's the only culture out there that brings everybody together.
Yep.
That little things like this tear it apart.
Yep.
Okay, and it sounds petty, but at the end it's not, because it's like I said, my daughter is going, Dad, if I'm not showing my ass, why do I want to race? How am I going to get sponsors?
Yeah. It's the underlining problem to not just racing, but society as a whole that no one wants to talk about. And every time someone goes and talks about it, like a guy brings it up because he's the one that's honestly suffering from it, he's a showless pig, and it's like, oh, well, you shouldn't be like that and this and that. And it's like, but I'm just bringing up an obvious statement that everybody knows and everybody's kind of following. And, this is not just in the motorsports world. This is everything, like nowadays, if you're a halfway decent looking girl that's just maybe got a pair of tits on her, you don't have to go and find a job. You know why? Because you have OnlyFans. You can just hop on OnlyFans. And next thing you know, you're sitting on your couch just texting dudes for $5 a pop, and like you're making 100 grand more than some guys that have a degree.
Yeah,
And
well, I tell you right now, you know what I thought about doing? I think I'm gonna start an OnlyFans. So
I think we've all thought that.
Like the shit's like blurry until you pay,
Yeah,
and then when you pay, it's gonna be me doing something totally fucking stupid just to piss you off. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. 'Cause
ultimate
why not?
catfish.
I got a race car. I got a race car to pay for.
Yeah.
But you are right. Well, what it is it's the wokeism.
Yep.
Okay, the wokeness that's stepping into our society as a whole. I mean, you see it in all our movies, all our TV shows. I mean, every time you watch a movie, there's always that girl that's 100 pounds soaking wet that beats the shit out of some dude that's 250 pounds. And my daughter, I remember when she was little. Dad, is that real? No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to take your women empowerment away from you, kid. Okay, but the reality is if you go lipping off to a guy that's 250 pounds, and you're about $110, and you think you're gonna try to, come at him with a knife, you might walk away with a black eye. I'm just saying, and you might lose. And I'm like, but this is the fake ass woke world that we live in. That we're teaching our daughters that this is how it is, and that's not the real world. And I'm seeing it in the drag race community with sponsors and whatnot. And I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I started that whole yoga pants thing, girls in yoga pants and all that. I started all that. And then Brent, what's his name, did that video where he's hanging all over the Mustang in his yoga pants. You remember that? Okay. So I died laughing, right? So I started this whole yoga pant thing. And right away, and I always felt bad. People thought I'm talking about Alex Taylor right away. Yoga pants. I'm like, my ass, I never even thought of her, but no, absolutely not. That girl puts in the work. Okay, period. Okay, she puts in the work. I know who I was talking about. And that person knows who I was talking about. She knows I was ripping on her about it. But the bottom line is this woke shit that's coming into our drag race community now. I mean, how many times do you see them wanting to put, a hot chick behind the steering wheel anymore?
Oh yeah. It's all about the image and look of her just getting the followers. It's not about that she can even handle what she's about to hop into. It's just literally like, oh, she's a good look, let's go that direction. It's like, well, good looks not losing either, and people don't like to get behind the losers,
Yeah, right. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand it's product, and the whole sex sells. Sex sells. When Linda Bond was selling her shifters. Okay. Yeah. Now we're with social media and Instagram and everything. I mean, and OnlyFans, it's at such another level that you got to start pulling the reins back to set example for your young daughters, your young men, people wanting to be a part of this industry, the old school ways of getting sponsors. I mean, you got to kind of start pulling the reins back and having a little self-pride.
Yep. It's gotten to that point now where, like you were saying, they're doing it, and they're the ones that are sitting there in their yoga pants showing parts off, reaping the benefit off of it. But then again, it's on the guy's side too that don't follow her and don't like her. If you see that's all she's putting out, and it's like, people think it's like, oh, well, I'm one guy, it's like, yeah, but if you're one guy that's one follow and one like, that stacks up to her 500,000 followers. That gets her not just free parts, but anything she wants, anything. She gets into races, she gets the better pit spot, she gets parts faster, she gets parts for free, it's more than just like getting free stuff. Like, she gets put ahead further than some other guys that actually maybe are cutting it and doing the work just because of that, and it's
they
accountability.
And right away you'll have that simp, that idiot. Oh, you're just jealous, whatever. It's not about that. It's not jealousy's going to do it. It has to do it on a level of securing a future for the industry, that if you're going to cheapen it and you're going to make it look cheap, then it becomes a joke. And if it becomes a joke, then nobody's wanting nothing to do with it.
and it'll
You think I'm
dissolve,
wrong?
dissipate, and
That's
gone.
what happened. That's what happened with the chopper craze.
Yeah.
There was a point where there was memes coming out and it was a joke, and I remember I know a doctor that I built a bike for, and he quit riding it, and I remember asking him, but back in like 2012, I remember saying, like, how come you never ride your bike anymore? He goes, dude, it's embarrassing. I go, embarrassing? He goes, yeah. He goes, everybody with chopper's a dork. And I'm like, yeah. So all it takes is like a handful of people to just destroy something and set that mindset that, this is a bad thing. And then sheep follow. And
Yep.
then it ruins the market.
Yep.
And it happened during the chopper craze when it was all billet, all badass, wide tire. And then the old school guys come along with rat bikes, and then there was this battle. And then you were a nerd if you had the billet, and you were a badass if it was leaking oil and it was a piece of shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I mean that's that's what happened. Well, that's what's starting to happen here in the car culture, because I'm just witness history repeat itself in another form of gearhead culture, and that's exactly what's happening now. And it's happening in a little bit different ways because the social media exists a little better today.
Yeah. Yeah. Social media. So you were wondering, I'm 24 and my brother, he's 20. So we're like right in that pocket where we grew up with social media, but my generation at least is still in that forefront where like it was still new, but we kind of grew up there as, 90s kids and kind of had that so like I think that social media is the greatest thing to get product out there, and it's great in that aspect and to get news out there, but in the sense that it's getting abused for that in the wrong manners of what it should be used for.
Yeah.
And that is the detouring factor of, I think, why social media is not good, because I think it can be a good thing. It's just not a good thing right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's Facebook's
Well,
the new
it's
newspaper, but when you get on
right.
there and it's just conglomerated of just stuff that doesn't matter, and it's just this and that, and they're shoving stuff down your throat, buy this, buy that. It's like, I don't need this, and people are buying it, and then it's toxic, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that all social media platforms are really just dictators. I mean, they
Yeah.
get to dictate what you see, who you associate with. I mean, you ever look at your news feed, it's always the same people, but yet you got 3,000 friends, but why I always see the same 50 people in my news feed, right?
Yep.
It's all controlled and everything, and it's
Yep.
all bad. I mean, it's none of it's good. The truth of the matter is, I mean, it's brought a lot of people together. Social media has been able, like, for me to meet you,
Yeah.
for you to find out about Builders Brawl and whatnot.
Yeah.
It can be a really great thing, and I truly believe in the beginning that's what the
Intent was.
executive, was the intent, and I just think it's went a different direction.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I can remember back in, I would say 2013, 2014, we were on set of Garage Crowd one time. I remember talking about, I says, with social media and everything, it'll be a matter of time. You'll have your average mom at home being able to show her tits and make money, like porn. And then here come OnlyFans. I knew it
You
was
put it
coming.
out there. Come on, you did it to
Yeah,
us.
I mean, yeah, and and next thing you know, I mean, here we are. I mean, where does it stop? Where do we start getting some morals? Where do we, start,
Just the
going
backbone.
back to our roots?
Yeah.
And especially with the racing. I think what's going to happen is, we all know that NPK, Warner Brothers bought out Discovery, which Discovery also owned Motor Trend, and Warner Brothers bought it all. And we all know that NPK is going to be this year. After that, there's no more NPK.
Nope.
I don't think it'll be dead in the water. I think that they'll do something else, maybe pay-per-views, or who the hell knows. There's so many hundreds of ways to put it on TV anymore,
Yeah.
But I think that after that, things are going to die down. So if I were to give anybody with drag racing that's trying to make a name for themselves in the drag race community, this is your year to shine. This is your year. Go out while it's hot still, because I believe after this, after 2024, I think you're going to either see a fast decline if the economy shits, or it's going to slowly decline in the drag race community, and it's going to go back to 2010 life of drag racing. I think is what's going to happen. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And just because I've grown up around it my whole life, and I've seen the ups and downs of so many things in the gearhead world. And I just think people need to go do that and go have fun. If I can give any advice to anybody with this, I would say take this year, go race, go compete, set up a budget, set up where you want to go. But if you focus on anything, go to the track, make some friends, cook on the grill, have some fun.
Yep.
Do that. You got to go do it. If you're not going there to do that, you're going to find yourself disappointed, because the reality is we all go to the track. We all want to win. We all have that drive. We all have the competitive edge. But if you can't be good at losing, you'll never be a great winner.
Right. Yeah.
And so you got to find a way to be happy at the track when you're not in the winner circle all the time. For me, it's all my friends. It's cooking out on the grill, throwing hot dogs at people, and just screwing around, nighttime driving around, racing golf carts, I mean, so I suggest everybody goes and does that. We can sit here and talk about all the woes of drag racing in the industry all we want, but at the end of the day, we all love it, and we got to keep doing what makes it fun and stop focusing on the negative.
What it was intended to be, right? And it was guys that got together and tinkered with their cars and drank beer, and they're like, well, what'll this thing go do? Took it out to the street. Next thing you know, they're some other group of buddies that were doing the same thing. Well, let's race them, and that's street racing, and then that's what all this has come from. And it's just guys hanging out, having fun, and people just mingling over some commonality we have, and that's cars. And it's grown to what it is now, and we need to kind of find that route back to just having fun and it being about going out there and doing what we love and tinkering on cars, and not worrying about the purse and budgets and this and that, and trying to be John Force out there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And listen, I hope that more people come to the Builders Brawl and see what it's all about. Our third episode was actually supposed to air the other day, but I seen some editing. I wanted to change a couple things, and I'm like,
yeah.
I wasn't happy with a few things, so I threw it back, and I said, hey, let's fix this. So probably Monday, next Monday, the next episode's coming out.
Do you want to talk about some of that 0 to 60 and kind of where they're going with that, and kind of Builders Brawl on the TV platform or any of that?
So 0 to 60 is a conservative platform, just so we're clear. I mean, these guys are diehard gearheads.
Yeah.
Diehard America. Okay. And, that's just who they are. Me and a lot of other people are putting a lot of heart and soul into 0 to 60. The guys have been good to me. I love working with them. A lot of people don't understand, it's $9.99 a month, or it's $99 for the year. And I actually have had racers complain to me about that. And I tell them, I'm like, well, listen, I says, most of you go buy racing gas for your 14-second car that's not going to make it go any faster at $15 a fucking gallon. You can spend $9.99 a month to help support the gearhead industry, to help keep it alive, because what people don't understand is Motor Trend is about done. Everybody at Motor Trend's been let go. Okay. It's going to go stagnant here after about a year, because there's going to be like 10 shows are getting canceled. I'm pretty sure there's going to be 11.
Oh, wow.
And are getting canceled. They're still filming some stuff because they're under contract to get done.
Right.
Maybe some of the shows, like the integration shows, the Hot Rod Garage of the world, those might stick around with new episodes because they're integration shows. They make money. Yeah. But for the most part, it's just going to be a rerun carousel for, probably the next 3-4 years. Yeah. And it might get
already
closed
like that.
down. Yeah, it might get closed down. It might not. So my attitude is for $9.99 a month, we're going back to the roots of Gearhead TV. That's why we have like Steve Darnell and Stacy David,
Yeah.
and stuff like that involved, because they have the same mindset that I've talked to Steve Darnell many times. Me and him, we've talked, we think alike, with everything from the TV industry to the gearhead industry. The owners of 0 to 60 think just like us. And so, yes, I mean, it is $9.99 a month. If you don't want to pay for it, don't pay for it. Right now, this month, they're doing 7-day free trial. You can go on my Facebook page, click on my link, and that link will, if you click on my link, you can get a 7-day free trial.
We'll put that in the description.
Okay. And then that way, it's supporting a platform that is owned by gearheads, ran by gearheads. Now I'm not saying that Motor Trend didn't do a good job, but Motor Trend's not ran by gearheads.
Yeah.
There's one gearhead
Hollywood.
at Motor Trend that I know that he's a really great guy, and he's a good dude. He's the only gearhead at Motor Trend, like the only gearhead. And these people dictate what you want to see on TV. And I don't know about you, but I've had enough of that with our own government dictating what it is that I see and can't see and don't do. I really just don't care anymore to have some college-educated executive that his toolbox is, this big at home, and he thinks he's a man because he has one. He's going to tell me what I want to watch. I just don't want to. I want to go to some of these people that are in charge of hiring these people, and I want to go, what were you thinking?
Yep.
I mean, come on. I mean, and then you wonder why Motor Trend's going to shit.
It's with what I see in the world, not just industry, motorsports. We talk about the world because, when it comes to motorsports, everybody's kind of a motorhead junkie a little bit. And like everything that's happening in the world is put under a magnifying glass. And you really see it in the motorsports world because, people in the drag racing industry, especially, are either Wall Street executives or down to your guy changing tires at Jiffy Lube. Everybody and anybody's in drag racing. So what you see in the world is on a magnifying glass, the drag racing world and the car world. Right. Yep. So when you see like big corporations are changing the way that they're like you said, they're telling you what you need to watch instead of being an open ear and saying, well, what do you want to watch? They're just looking at an algorithm and, numbers and analytics going, this is obviously what people think they want to watch, but that's the only thing that's on. That's why you watch it.
Yes.
It's a false number.
That's exactly right. It's kind of like, how many times can we remake the movie Spider-Man?
Yep.
It's because there's
just shove it out there.
Yeah, there's no imagination no more.
No flavor, style, nothing. It's just numbers.
All they want to do is, and spin it and throw it back out there because they know they're going to make money. They and I get that. And we've lost the true meaning of talent anymore with just about everything. And that's exactly, you are exactly right. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like a lot of the music today sucks, but you listen to it because it's all that's there, right? Look at it that way. It's kind of like TV. It's like, we all know some of the stuff we watch sucks. Like, it's terrible. Okay. And you're like, oh my God, but yet we watch it and we go, hey, I like that show. Do you really like it, or is it the one you like out of the rest of it?
Yeah, exactly.
You follow me? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like, and I'm going to say this again. I should say it, but like Gone Girl. Like, if there was ever a mistake where somebody should have been fired, okay, in the gearhead community, it was that fucking idea. and I'm sitting here like, I literally couldn't watch it. I felt embarrassed for the girls that were on there that actually knew their shit. It was bad. But I want you to understand how crooked and dirty these executives can be in TV land. All right. Let's just I'm not picking on them, but I'm just going to use an example because a lot of people have watched it. You took a very beautiful girl that drove some McLaren or something around a track one time. Okay. You put her in a car to race other people on the street. that didn't even know how to do a fucking burnout. And then you had the audacity to film showing her how to do a burnout, right?
Yep.
And then
Oh
putting
my
her
goodness.
out on the road. And I'm sitting here thinking, you're putting this girl's life on the line along with everybody else's, all for some wokeism bullshit.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that in the world of drag racing, you couldn't find a woman that at least knows how to do a burnout to go and be on that show? That's what ruined it. But my point is, it's not that girl, it's not that show. It's these dumbass executives. And I'm gonna tell you, if you're listening, if you're executive, and you happen to watch, Clemens' show here, I'm gonna tell you, you're a dumbass.
Hopefully.
Okay, that you actually thought that this was a good idea. I'm blown away because I want to go. Are you hiring? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'll do the job.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is the stuff that is saturated our market in my world as an executive producer that is destroying the car culture. So I started my own production company. I became executive producer. I have my own everything for this reason. Because I can bitch about it, but I'm actually doing something about my bitch. Do you understand? And where most people just bitch. So if anyone say that I'm just bitching, no, I'm actually doing something. I got a lot of money invested into this because I believe it's ruining our car culture. And I want to try to help give an option for guys like us to say, hey, I'm going to go over here.
Yeah. Like with TV, it seems like, and with social media, any sort of media platform, they're getting to the point where it's not about what you do, how much talent you have, the creativity of doing something different and cool. It's how stupid can you be, and how far can you stand out by being stupid. And then that person gets looks, views, and everything. And again, it's back to the algorithm and number, and they're the holy spirit of the internet world because they got a viral video. It's like it went viral because it was just so stupid and dumb.
Yeah.
But it'll be forgot tomorrow. They didn't get nothing from it. And I hate the fact that people become celebrities and get a little bit of status just by doing that and having one viral video. It's like you didn't contribute nothing to society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest mistake that has happened on social media, and we are all to blame as human beings, is for some reason we make stupid people famous.
Right.
And I don't know if it's the entertainment of just how stupid they are. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't really care to see Lizzo dance on stage and okay, I don't. I mean, we just make. And what's that redheaded chick now? What's her name? I can't think of her name. My daughter was telling me about her. I mean, her music sucks, but we make her famous because she's such a joke.
There's a lot of those.
And it's like, what are we doing? I mean, it's there's no integrity no more. We don't take true talent anymore and make them and give them the recognition they deserve. I mean, we don't. And
nothing's ever original. Nothing is ever original anymore.
No, it's not. And right now it's just sad state of affairs that we are in society, and we need to change. And we need to bring men back. We need to stop being afraid to be a man. And I don't mean that we got to beat everybody's ass. It's not what I'm saying. But
not at all.
You got to speak up and stand up for what you believe in. You got to be man enough to hear other opinions.
Yep.
And we got to do something. We cannot just sit here forever, whether if it's in our car culture or not. I mean, we just can't sit here like a bunch of simps and wusses anymore. It's time that we start teaching our young men how to be real men.
You have to, as a man, know why you have your opinions and have a very good definition as to why if someone ever questions you on it, instead of follow the pack. And we are in a society now where we are getting cattle carded to just be a follow the pack society. That's what our government, just everybody kind of wants us to be. And that is a problem. And we're seeing that in the motorsports world. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because we're all follow the herd instead of stand out and actually be unique in a different way. Not just because you're the loudest squeaky wheel. Right.
Yeah, right.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and well, yeah, I mean, well, drag racing itself is a monkey see, monkey do kind of thing
Yeah.
anyway.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, hey man, I put lifesavers in my slicks and I picked up 10th. Next thing you know, there's packs of lifesavers on every counter and every motorhome at the
Yep.
track. Right? I mean, it's just these are the things that it's just monkey see, monkey do. And I've actually watched it to the point where I've watched people go backwards
We're
because of
the
monkey see,
worst.
monkey do.
We're the worst at having to be the Joneses. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we have to, everybody in the drag racing world has to be the Joneses. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's got the new shifter. I gotta get it. Next thing you know, it floods the market. It's like,
Yep.
oh, he gets the new whatever.
Yep.
He's running the new engine. Oh, I got new heads or something. It's like, oh, well, I gotta get them. It's just like
Yeah.
that's we're very bad about that.
We are terrible about that. And the only thing I will tell you that I have noticed, I mean, there's always clicks, right? Everything's clicky, right? And don't get me wrong, and they exist, but I have noticed a lot of sponsors that are only involved in their click.
Yeah.
And I got one name on top of my head, and I won't say it because that's always bad business to say that name, when you're talking shit. But and I noticed that this one company is always in its clique. It's always the same group of people that are involved in their sponsorship, their clique, the races they sponsor, the people are there. And I just happened to notice this, right?
Right.
And I started going, how is that setting a great example as a business?
Yep.
Yeah, I started going, so now if I go and I feel like an outsider, why do I want to buy your product?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But us again as men got to see that and go up to the guy and be like, hey man, listen, I like your product, but just so you know, this is how it looks. And
Right.
It's kind of bad for business. And you're saying that I'm not good enough to buy your product.
Yep.
But I see this stuff happening, and it's just a new world that we live in, and you have just a lot of angles that need to be addressed, and we could bitch about them all, but instead I started a production company.
You got to do something about it. You can't just sit there and whine.
Right.
That's what we're all needing to do, or we're trying to do. So I
Yeah.
get it. I hear you. But
And I love doing what we do, buddy. I really do.
yeah.
And I'm glad I got to meet you and your dad and your brother. I mean, I this is where it's worth it.
Yep.
This is where put all the bullshit aside, all the drama and the bitching and complaining, and put it all aside. This is where it's worth it. I mean, I now have friends just from the Builders Brawl all over the country.
Yeah.
And that actually call me, and say, hey, how are you? And Merry Christmas. And, and are helping me find parts and everything. And I actually, this is what it's supposed to be all about.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, other than the Chicago Wise guys, other than going to run with those guys, I got to tell you, I wasn't seeing that in drag racing world very much.
Yeah.
Like it died there for a while, but now I'm trying. That's why I'm trying.
Hostile in the pits, right? But
Yeah.
drag racing's always been really good about that. We've just got taken a few steps away from that, and it's good. We're getting back to that, and kind of society. We like that. We like that as drag racers. It's all about helping the guy next to you because, like I said, you want to beat the guy next to you, and Builders Brawl is a very big moving force in that movement, which is a very good thing, and that's what we need. So I totally agree with what you're saying.
And Builders Brawl is a positive thing in my eyes. It's not. We are not anti non-builders. I mean, that's not what this is. But this is about we want to give a platform for the people that have put in the extra work. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've had some people that get pissed off and, or you're saying I'm not good enough to run at your race. And I'm like, well, no, you're not. I mean, I'm not saying you're not good enough. I'm just saying you don't qualify.
Yeah.
I mean, I play basketball in my backyard, but that doesn't mean I'm running up to the Bulls game and going, "You got to put me in, coach."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people are. I mean, the world is full of rejection. Grab your
Yep.
balls, be a man, get over it. I mean, you didn't get the
Get over
promotion
it,
at
get
work.
better,
Are you
right?
crying? You know, I mean, you know what you didn't. I mean, you didn't get the job that you applied for. What are you gonna do? Go there and say, "Hey, what the hell?" You know, I mean,
Yeah.
and so yes, I understand this is a recreational, supposed to be fun, but we're also wanting to shine a light on the guys that put in the work.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And if those people, if people that don't like it, we don't care.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't.
Nope.
I listen. I just don't give a shit if they, you know. I mean, this is for the guys put in the work.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna lie. Now let's talk about something else, because I know real quick, because I know there's some people out there that get mad about it, whatever. But do we have some people that I feel kind of sneaked into the builders brawl as a builder? Yeah, I'll flat out say it. Absolutely. But you got to understand how the process works. It's kind of the honor system. If you send in a submission and you lie, okay, those 5 guys, they don't know who you are. We don't have a budget to fly these guys all over the country to go in your garage and see if you really know how to freaking TIG weld, right?
Yeah.
So have people snuck their way in there? Yeah, they have. But those 5 guys, they don't know. They can only go off of what that submission says. Okay.
Right.
Because there is one guy that got in. I'm like, no way. I said, send me that submission. He got approved. I'm like, there's no way. I read the submission. I'm like, damn, this is convincing. This is pretty good.
He knows how to
But
work
I'm
stuff.
But I'm sitting here scratching my head going, man, I know that motherfucker. And I know damn well, but whatever, maybe I'm wrong, right? Well,
Yeah.
no, he don't. He's not. He's just not a builder.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so don't come hating on us that we're fake and phony, because that's why we put that credibility challenge. If it's a problem for you, then step up to the plate.
Buck up.
You can, I mean, but again, well, the other thing I'm trying to do is make men be men.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll all call me and bitch about it. And I tell them, like, I don't want to hear it. You got to spend the money, put your money where your mouth is, and go to the credibility challenge. I don't want to hear it. I'm trying to make men be men.
Yep.
There's no reason why you can't have a problem with something and speak up. Stop being afraid to speak up. But so just so we're clear, yeah, there are some people that have snuck in, we'll call it. I don't know what you want to call it. And but we're gonna weed them out, because probably not next year, maybe next year, I don't know. But we're gonna make everybody resend in submissions.
No.
Just to keep updated.
That'll stir things up, like a certification a little bit.
Yep. And
Just gotta
then
stay up to
we
snuff.
might do something exactly like that, where like you will get a card, and it will be valid for X amount of years as a qualified builder. You know what I mean? And and that's how we're gonna do it. And just because to keep it more fun, to say, hey, look, I qualified as a builder. You know what I mean? Just be proud of yourself. You should be proud of what
like
you
holding an NHRA license. It's like, I'm one of those guys,
Yeah, right. So what's wrong with being proud of putting in that work?
Yep.
And then that way we can weed out the guys that they realize, they shouldn't be here.
Right. So like when we saw the Builders Brawl thing, it was like, this is about builders and builders building their car and doing, what you should in the racing industry, and is build your car, go out and test it, right? That's the whole thing. And, we thought that was really cool, and we saw that we can qualify for that. So we went, we raced it, and, we've got to know each other and the whole thing. And we've sat here and talked, and we've had conversations like this just on the industry and racing as a whole.
Yep.
And after now having 3 going to be 4 of these races, what Builders Brawl reminds me of is that you are bringing racing back to that era of when it was like the golden era of drag racing. Like that, 1987 to like the 2002-3 range, right? All through the 90s, like when
Yeah.
drag racing was cool, pro
Mhm.
stock, everything, pro mods started to form there about, 98 up there till about 2005, 7, 8, and it like
Yeah.
started to become that oh my god class, and that's when my dad was racing, so he lived the glory days of the racing and racing at really high levels and professional. And so it's we talk about it. He says it's hard for him to now race at some of the stuff that we go to because it's not like it was, and some of the stupidity that you have to go through and the hurdles you jump through and just the racing it's just not the same, right?
No, it's not.
And
Yeah. Everything.
you are yeah, everything's different, but you are bringing it back to what it should be and how those days were. Shifting your car, building your car, run it against guys that don't have the $1 million budgets, showing up and running, and it's all on you to make it go down the track, tuning it. Not everyone can go get all these big time tuners and fuel techs sitting in your trailer. It's just
Right.
like back in the day, it was like you were swapping weights on your clutch and you were in there putting pills in your blower, and it was like, well, let's go try it.
Yep.
That that's builder's brawl now.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. The one thing I've seen with Builders Brawl, I've seen a lot of jealousy from other people that didn't think of it, because I thought of it and I built it and I did it. And I also see people that are non-builders in the industry that shun it and hate it.
Yeah.
And shame on them.
Yeah.
Shame on them. I want to tell those people, right? I'll tell them to their face, you're stupid.
Yeah.
And you're ignorant, because without the Builders Brawl and without these guys that build their own shit and doing this, I've said it before, I'll say it again, you'll have nothing.
Yep.
You'll do nothing. You'll race nothing.
Yep.
And or you have to figure out how to do it yourself. So if I am promoting builders, that if it grows, let's say it grows and gets huge, right? To a whole nother generation, okay, of builders. Well, that's another generation of people that are building cars so you can go race.
Yep.
So why would you kick this? Why would the only way that people would kick it is something to do with their self-reflection on them. Maybe it's a reminder that they're lazy.
Yeah.
I
was talking to my dad about this.
Yeah, maybe it's a reminder that I am the rich guy that has daddy's money and I don't need to do it.
Yep.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yep.
Maybe it is a reminder that they could learn how to do it, they just don't want to.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We're not picking on you.
No.
But the reality is I'm sorry. And I'm
well, if
gonna
anything,
say,
you're giving those guys a reason to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. If you pull up to the starting line and you built your own motor or your own chassis or your own car versus alongside the guy that did not, I am sorry. You are better than him.
Yep.
You're never supposed to go around the world saying you're better than anybody. That's bad. 100%. But the reality is, I mean, because you're smarter than he is with that car. Now, you may not be better at him, at being an executive at a job. You may not be better than him as a lawyer. Hell, you may not even be better than him in bed. Ask his old lady. All right. But my point is at some level, you are better than him because you have went the extra mile to force your way to learn how to do all this, and he hasn't. So why can't we put a platform together for these guys?
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm saying some harsh things that people don't want to hear.
It's the truth.
But it's the truth. And that's how I usually make enemies, because I always tell the truth. And we live in a world where my wife will tell you, when I start telling the truth, I ain't making friends.
you either make a really good friend or a really bad enemy.
Oh yeah. But that's why we're doing what we're doing with the Builders Brawl, and it's important. It's important to me. It's important to a lot of guys. We got a lot of guys that are diehard about it. I mean, we got a lot of following behind it. I mean, Miller Welders gave us welders again for this race.
That's huge.
I mean, They think that this is just like the coolest thing ever. And
It
we're
is.
working on getting them to be a bigger part of it for, for like the TV side of things and everything, but that's a slow process. But why we can't get some of these companies to jump on board, I got to tell you, I don't understand.
It's because we
If
don't have
anyone's,
tits.
yeah, maybe, maybe that's what we need some Builders Brawl girls, maybe. I don't know.
I know. Well,
Oh, and
so
it still stands. Any girl that qualifies as a builder through with the 5 guys sending their submission, I pay their entry fee.
Gets a free cupcake, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that's been a thing since the very beginning. And I've been doing that, and I gotta tell you, I pissed off a lot of the fake women when I say that. Because it's like well, people have went up to them and said, well, why haven't you sent in a submission? Joe's gonna pay your entry fee. It's $400 entry fee. Plus your crew.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're like, oh well, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, because you're full of shit. We only have one woman that has qualified as a builder, but she didn't make the race. The stuff went down with the car. But no,
Right.
she is a machinist. She works in a machine shop. She builds engines all day and shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Nicole is the first one.
I know when we pulled up to the track, I know for the first race, and it's gotten better as the race has gone on, but I know when we first pulled up, with our rig, and then we rolled our car out there, like, there's no way that this kid built that car.
Yeah, we
right?
get a lot of flack as 2 young guys out there.
Oh yeah.
When we go to lights out, people think that it's like a Jerry Bickle or Tin Soldier car or something like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I built the car, I have
Yeah.
the pictures. I sat there every waking day when I was in high school trying to get that thing done and make it what it was,
Yeah.
And when it comes to, this is circling back to you talking about being the better in your car, the guy next to you. I wired the car. I've plumbed the car. I've welded every bar in it. I painted the car. Anything that was done to that car throughout the steps of building a car, I've done. And I did at the age of 16 to around, 19. And I went and I've spoken and I've said the stuff that you're saying on like articles. Dragzine actually wanted to do an article on me. And I said, the problem is that people don't build their cars anymore. And the reason that they don't build their cars is why I'm going to be better than them. I tune it. I built it. I know my car inside and out, and I'm the one sitting in the seat, putting the throttle to the floor. That makes me a better driver next to the guy that I'm sitting to at lights out that's got a Jerry Bickle, Tin Soldier, McAmis, Brad Anderson, him, the whole 9 because he could afford it. And, he's just got to flip the bill Monday, right?
Right.
We just got back from putting the motor together today.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about that before you or before we went live here, is how we literally drove home, dropped it off, like ate a bowl of chili, and I drove over here.
Yeah.
Like, I still got the dirt under my nails, the whole thing,
Yeah. Well, a lot of times when I say stuff, I like to get people thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's kind of just how I am. I mean, I'll tell you something, and you're gonna call me back the next day and go, "Son of a bitch, I didn't even think of that." Right. And let's talk about the money side of things. Okay, guys, we have to have the money. We need money. Okay, we need guys with money. We need that millionaire with daddy's money.
Yeah.
Okay, going to Tim McAmis and building cars.
Yes.
Because without that money, that big money, we don't have companies doing research and development. We don't have new products coming out. We don't have the research and development that's went into tires in the last 5 years alone.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I mean, if we didn't have it, so there is no kicking the money dog,
right?
Here at Builders Brawl. I mean,
no.
But the best way I can explain it, it's kind of like Chevy versus Ford. Builders versus not. We're gonna bust balls, but the reality is you have to have both.
Yes.
If you don't have both and respect each other, you're gonna have shit. Is what you'll have.
Exactly.
Now, my thing is the reason why a lot of these people say to me, well, why do you pick on the people that don't build their own, this, that? It's not that I'm picking on people that don't build their own. I'm picking on those egotistical assholes that don't build their own.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I'm coming for.
Yeah.
Not the guy that doesn't build his own but respects the people that do. Not him. We love that guy.
Yep.
We love that guy. Okay, because we all have shops and garages where we do this stuff on the side, so we don't want to hate them people. I mean, we love helping them people.
Yep.
But it's the asshole with the money and an ego that I'm out for. That's who I'm looking for. Like I go look for that guy because I'm that asshole. Okay. Yep. It's like, oh, here's an arrogant asshole. I got him. And because that's just how I am. I mean, I don't go looking for trouble. I just go looking for shitty people.
Yeah.
And I have my way with them because I mean, there's no reason to be that way.
You perfectly need the people that, buy the cars and whatever, because those are the people you need people to drag race, period. No matter if they're buying or building their car. But if you can buy your car, I mean, go ahead and buy it. If you could buy a nice car, like whatever. But if you want to build it, then go build your car. There's no negative to one. There's no positive to the other. It's whatever you feel you want to do that makes you happy, right? Yeah. But I will tell you one thing, and it is, when we were this was probably my very first ever Lights Out, which there's big names, like the owner of Proline, the owner of Eminem Trans, Mark, all these big names that then go drive cars and have a little bit of clout and status in the drag racing world go to this race, right? And when I'm standing in the circle, and these are guys that don't necessarily build their cars top to bottom, not necessarily ones I meant, just people of that caliber, that race. When I'm standing there in a circle talking to a bunch of drivers after the race, and then I'm getting compliments on how I drove first off, and then that they find out I built the car, all of a sudden I'm a rookie that's standing with them equally.
Yep.
Like, oh, okay, this guy, he's got it. He's the real deal. Yeah.
And you're gonna get respect that you deserve.
That's the difference.
And you worked for it.
Yep.
Feels good, don't it?
Oh yeah, give me goosebumps.
Yeah, now you have just completely had the feelings on why I started Builders Brawl.
Exactly.
There should be a place for you like that all the time.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I think it's about. That's we keep circling back to it, but that's what it's about.
Yeah, and for the people that are watching that don't understand, when they say you got to build your car right away, not everybody builds their entire car.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no shit. Okay. I mean, but you don't have to build your whole entire car to be a part of Builders Brawl. I mean, go on the website and read before you start commenting. Okay. Yep. And then I got to get on and make you look like an idiot. Okay. Because all you got to do is go do a little research. You type in buildersbrawl.com. You can go read the rules. If you build your own motor, you built your own chassis, or you did all your own fab work, your tin work, your metal work, your paint and body, stretching quarter panels, you can qualify as a builder. Now, if you bought a bunch of stuff from Jegs and started bolting it on, or you installed your motor and trans, you are not a builder. If you bought a new set of autometer gauges and put them in your dash, you are not a builder. Yeah, okay. If you bought a 4-point roll cage that bolts in, you are not a chassis builder either, okay? Yep. But there are people that went that extra mile. And that's who we're looking for. The people that are just at that next level out in their garage. That's what we're looking for. And so anybody can do it. You're willing to put in the work. There's the only person stopping you from being able to compete at the Builders Brawl is you.
Yep. That I'm trying to find the flyer here. So Builders Brawl Bash 4, May 3rd and 4th in I always forget the name of this track.
Illinois.
Cordova.
Yeah, Cordova Drag
Illinois.
Yep.
0 to
Open
60.
to everybody.
Open to everybody.
Anybody. You don't have to be a builder. The payout is different from a builder to a non-builder. A builder wins the purse. A non-builder, if he wins that class, he gets 80% of the purse.
I think that's good. That keeps a benefit still towards the builder, but
You got
anybody
it.
can show up. Anybody can show up to this race and race their car.
That's
Anybody.
right. Anybody.
This is no
We don't-
different than any other race out there right now. Like
That's right.
you just show up and race.
That's right. You show up and race, and you learn our rules, you learn our process, and you learn how things work. Oh, and you're going to learn how it works at a race where you can't yell and scream and stand on the trunk lid of your Mustang and pout and cry, and it actually matter because we're just not going to give a shit.
Exactly.
All right. You're going to come to our race with the builders. The builders are the ones that decided to let you in.
Yep.
And you're going to come and you're going to compete. You're going to have fun, maybe meet some people, learn a few things, and maybe become a part of something greater than just your average race that you can go to hopefully 4 or 5 times a year if I had my way.
Yeah. I mean, Builders Brawl, compared to any other race out there, it's different in the sense that it's real. It has like texture and depth, you know?
Yeah.
All these other races, they're cool, but the only attraction.
Uh-oh, I lost him. Where'd he go?
Oh, let me bring him back here. Are you still there? No,
I am. He's not.
yeah, I think we lost Corey.
Uh-oh,
I
we
don't
lost Corey.
I don't know what happened. I don't even see
Uh-oh,
him.
but his battery go dead?
No, shouldn't.
No, he's not on his phone, though. He's on his computer, isn't he?
Yep. I guess trying to open the link again.
Okay. Well, I think we covered quite a bit either way.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
I mean, how long we been on now?
About hour and 45 or so.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Time
we've
to
been
go.
talking for a little bit.
All right, we're going to jet.
Because instead of just jump back on. Can you hear me?
I didn't realize that it was that long. But, hey, listen, thank you for everything, guys. We will see you soon at the Builders Brawl, okay? May 3rd and 4th, Cordova, Illinois. And, you know, hopefully you take home that, you know, you get to wear that gold hat. All right, guys. Well, enjoy your night. Enjoy your evening. I got a lot of work to do tomorrow. Get that motor back together. Get that car running, okay? All right? Thank you. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, okay? See you, buddy.
I found myself in this, couldn't wait to turn 21. The idea, I got too drunk, spinning around dizzy on the patio. Found out real quick, gotta take it slow. Got whiskey man on whiskey sour. Ran my mouth to an out of towner. Learned a big lesson when I met the master. I found myself in this bar, making mistakes and making new friends. I was growing up, nothing made sense. Wasn't all night like neon in the dark. I found myself in this bar. I found myself in this bar.
I keep it bad. Yeah, I got 100 days. 100, I keep it bad. Oh, I got 100 on my friends. Yeah, trying to pop my truck for ya. Got 100 drop my top for ya. If a 50, you pop my truck for ya. And I'm coming to guap my car for ya. My boss, valley fuck jumped on 5. I just count down, stop 5.